Hey fellow REIT investors, if there's one thing I've learned this year, it's this. Vibes don't lie. Markets may be rational on paper, but people will tell you everything you need to know, with their eyes, their feet, and their body language. That's exactly what I witnessed 3 weeks ago at the REITs Symposium 2025. Yes, it's been a while since the event, but I've been letting the impressions marinate, comparing what I saw to what the market's been doing since. And some of those vibes? They're starting to look like early indicators. Forget price charts and financial models for a moment. I'm talking about crowd energy, booth traffic. Which REITs had a queue of curious investors? And which ones you could walk right up to without even saying excuse me? Today, I'm going to walk you through what I saw, booth by booth, vibe by vibe, and what I think it says about retail investor confidence, which REITs may be regaining trust, and which ones might be losing their most loyal investors. What really surprised me was that it wasn't the big boys drawing the most attention. In fact, some of the so-called smaller REITs had investors crowding around like they just found a hidden gem. Then of course there are the booths backed by big-name sponsors like Capital Land and Mapletree, always packed, but not without their weak links. Some REITs were ghost towns, but a few completely surprised me with the buzz they were generating. Let's start with the ones that had everything to prove, and what I think retail investors, collectively as a whole, might be trying to tell us. The underdogs, some felt forgotten. Okay, let's start with the quiet corners. Suntech REIT, despite being a well-known name, barely drew a crowd. I actually had a chat with the team at their booth, and my sense is that they didn't seem particularly concerned about investor worries about their high gearing levels or the poor share price performance. There didn't seem to be any urgency to meaningfully reduce the debt levels anytime soon. If investors were hoping for reassurance, it wasn't on offer. No wonder the booth was quiet. Prime US REIT and BHG REIT? Even worse. Their booths were practically empty. But honestly, maybe that's not too surprising. Prime is still trapped in the storm clouds over US office properties, and BHG faces weak China consumer sentiment and governance concerns. The macro headwinds are strong, and retail investors seem to have simply walked away. The underdogs. Some gained fans, but here's where things got interesting with 4 REITs drawing the crowds. First, Stoneweg European REIT, one of the top performers in 2024. And no surprise there. Investors weren't just drawn by past returns, but by the access they got. The top management team was right there at the booth, both the CEO and COO, fielding questions from anyone who came by. That kind of transparency and accessibility? It's rare. And it builds trust.